All right, guys. One thing that you don't want to do in this building world, you don't want to battle with the building official. Let's get into it, guys. All right, guys, this is Emmett Stallworth again, the Alpha Builder, guys. You get a second, guys, let's go ahead and help this algorithm out. Let's like, share, subscribe, or comment if you guys have something that you guys want to add to this conversation. But guys, one person that you don't want to deal with, you want to make sure you're on the same page. When you go out here and you start building, you're pulling permits, is that building official. Now, what is a building official, guys? The building official, I'm just kind of get my little notes here. So the building official is the person that the local municipality has put over, or, sometimes they are appointed by the mayor, the council, or they're hired through the city manager, or however that municipality is structured. They hire that building official to be responsible of making sure that all structures in that municipality is safe. The code, so the International Residential Code, the International Building Code, which regulate commercial, the International Residential Code regulates residential. These two manuals, which is most of the time the municipalities is going to adopt a version of these items, of these manuals, to pretty much dictate how structures are going to be built in that municipality. And these two manuals, International Building Code, International Residential Code, is really just a big giant safety manual. Is when you go through the building code, it just tells you how to build things to make sure that it's safe for people who are coming in that municipality and they're going to go in that structure. And also it helps first responders in the event that there is a fire or there's a catastrophe or something like that, so that when you go in those structures, they go in there and they try to save somebody, that they don't have to worry about these structures collapsing on them very quickly, due to a fire or whatever you have. So that's what the building official's job is. So anything that's built in that municipality, number one, that building official, in order for you to dwell in it, you have to have a certificate of completion or you have to have a certificate of occupancy. And that building official signs off on that every time a structure is inspected to his standards and it meets all the inspections and requirements that local municipality have. That building official is going to sign off on it. So now, the building official is not an inspector. Let's get this right, guys. A lot of people get that confused. In some municipalities, the smaller municipalities, when they can only hire one person, he's going to wear several different hats. But in most normal municipalities, that building official is going to be, he's going to be the head of the building department. He's pretty much going to run the entire building department, the permitting, the inspect. He goes out and hire inspectors. And guys, I was the building official for a local municipality here in this area for about 4 years. So I ran the building department, and so I can really tell you how this stuff really works, guys. And guys, you don't want to give him a headache, because the administrative side of the code book, see, once the city adopts that code book, there's a portion of the code book that says that there's a catch-all phrase in that code book. And you guys can go in the code book and look it up. But at the administrative side of the code book, it says that the building official has the authority in the event that he requires certain things in order to make a structure safe. Okay? So basically what that code is going to do, and there's a catch-all code on the administrative side, is basically if the building official thinks that, even if it's not consistent with, or the interpretation is different than what you interpreted, and when you look at the code, he's going to interpret it in such a way that in his mind, he feel like that it's safe. Now, guys, you can sit here and say, well, that's just not right, et cetera, but that's just the way, that's his power, that's his authority. So here's what you want to do as a builder. What you want to do before you start building, or before you estimate, before you give a quote on a particular job to a homeowner, your first move should be to go sit down with that building official. Make sure you understand all the ordinances, because he can give you all the ordinances that's like that's different from the code book. Because there are some ordinances that they add that increases the code, so it makes it more stringent, and they can make it more stringent. So, and here's the thing, guys: whichever one is most stringent is the one that you're gonna have to do. So even if the building officials say, "Well, hey, we're gonna, we're not gonna. This is all we require over here for this particular thing," but the code book says it's more stringent. You got to do the most stringent one. And sometimes the local ordinance is going to say, hey, we're going to make it more stringent. I've seen that happen. So you as a builder, before you quote a job with a homeowner, guys, you need to do your due diligence to sit down, schedule a time. You can sit down with that building official, sit down with him, and make sure you go over all the ordinances that's different, that's outside of the code book, and it's probably different from most municipalities. Because at the end of the day, it's his interpretation that's going to reign supreme. And you can go to the guys, you can go to the Home Builders Association. Now, we do have a government affairs in the Home Builders Association that help deal with things like that. But at the end of the day, that catch-all phrase is going to put you in a bind. And and here's the thing, guys. You can sit here and you can battle, and he can probably eventually change his mind. But is it worth your time? That's another thing, man. The time that you're going to be sitting here dealing with this, you got time, you have, and while the time is ticking, you're paying, or your homeowner is paying interest. So you need to get all that stuff out on the front end. You need to figure all this stuff out on the front end. And this right here, so guys, this right here video was inspired because I had a friend of mine, he said, well, the building official required us to do this right here, do that. And I said, hey, man, those are things you need to look at on the front end. Now, you can go, and guys, here's the thing. The Home Builders Association can go to ICC, International Code Council, which is right here in Birmingham. We can go to them and get their interpretation, and their interpretation can be consistent with your interpretation as a builder, but not consistent with that building official's interpretation. And the building official still can say, hey, this is how it's going to be. Now, you can use the ICC, the International Code Council, to help you influence that building official. But at the end of the day, man, one person that you want to make sure that you're on the same page with is that building official. I'm not saying just bow down to them. So the bottom line, man, when you're dealing with government, guys, because that building official is part of the government services in that municipality. When you're dealing with these guys, you have to be proactive instead of reactive. Proactive means you sit down in front of him on the front end and say, hey, what do we got going on? What do you have that's probably inconsistent? You need to understand how that house needs to be built according to that local municipality's code, city ordinance. Then once you figure that out, then guys, you can go out there and you can quote that job, keeping that stuff in mind. It may cost you, some things may cost you a couple extra dollars. So it's better to have all that stuff figured out instead of building that, and then you run into a bind with there's something that you got to do that's not consistent with the city that you just built in, and you end up paying you finna come out of pocket another $5, because every time you got to come out of pocket over stuff that you didn't know about, that's coming out of your profit. And I don't think it's fair for you to go back to the homeowners and say, well, hey, I didn't know I had to do this right here. The building official is making me do this right here. And so I need another $5,000. That's not fair to that homeowner. Your job as a builder is to understand your costs. And I knew they'd start, guys. Like, share, subscribe. You guys have a good one. Remember, guys, you guys are the God of your project. You're the God of your project. It's all about you, how you want it done. Okay? You got don't press so hard. Just let it off a little bit. There you go. You ain't got to press hard. All right. You're the God of your project, man. You in control. It's your game. It's your baby. There you go. There you go. What's wrong with that right there, Roy? I ain't gonna put you. You want me to pay you? I'll give you some of my ass. They actually check on you too. You guys are the gods.